listening to Knowledge Nation, bringing you knowledge wherever you are. Now, here's your host, Jess Lewis.
Hello and welcome. Hope you're having a great week and the sun is shining wherever you are. So today we've got lots coming up on the show. Terry Wahls, a clinical professor of medicine from Iowa, America. Terry Wahls was struck down with MS in 2000. A few years on, after conventional medicine failed her, she was wheelchair bound. She was determined not to give up and went on to successfully cure herself of MS using nutrition. Terry's on the show today to talk about her journey, the difficulties she faced and how she's overcome them. We'll also be talking about foods to eat and foods to avoid, and the truth about cholesterol and coconut oil too. Let's welcome Terry onto the show.
Knowledge Nation.
Hello Terry and welcome to Knowledge Nation. I think it's great to have you on the show to share this information, so thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, so you had MS for a number of years, and as a doctor, what did you understand about the condition at the time?
So, I was diagnosed in 2000, and I knew at that time, within 10 years of diagnosis, 1/3 will have difficulty walking in a cane, walker, or wheelchair, and 1/2 will be unable to work due to severe fatigue. And so I decided to treat my disease aggressively. I sought out one of the best MS centers here in the United States, which was the Cleveland Clinic, saw their best people, took the newest drugs, but still steadily declined.
What treatments, what options are available if someone gets MS, according to the conventional route?
So the conventional treatment is that we need to take drugs that will suppress the immune system.
Wow.
In some capacity, blocking some aspect of it. The original drugs were interferon-based, like beta-seron, Avonex, and then Copaxone came on. Now we have much more potent disease-modifying drugs that are things like Tysabri, Gilenya, Tecfidera, and many more. Are rapidly coming on the market.
Yeah, I mean,
and these are very potent blocking of the immune system, with, of course, a long list of side effects because they are so potent.
Well, yeah, this is what I wanted to say. So, I mean, these medications, if they're suppressing your immune system, what kind of, this must be catastrophic for the body because you've got no protection.
Well, the body uses the immune system to repair damage, protect us from infection, and help orchestrate the maintenance and repair of our cells. So, depending on what part of the immune system is blocked, you'll have higher rates of infection. You'll also be more likely to have sores in the mouth. You may have cardiac side effects. You may have a lot of muscle and joint complaints. You may have gut side effects. And because people are so afraid of becoming severely disabled and bedridden, they're willing to trade off, and so was I, for that matter. Very annoying side effects today to prevent future devastating disability.
Yeah, it's such a shame that people are this scared into doing this because, like you say, it is a trade-off. But this is why it's so amazing what you're doing, and you're sharing your story and you're sharing this knowledge and information, because Terry, this is what needs to happen, because at the minute when people get MS, they don't maybe know that there's ways they can treat this themselves naturally. And so what kind of side effects did you get off the medications then?
So I was taking Copaxone, which I tolerated fairly well, but my disease progressed. Then I was placed on Novantrone, which is a form of chemotherapy, and I had, severe vomiting, diarrhea, neutropenic fevers. I was pretty sick. Stopped that. Then Tysabri became available. I took that and had severe headaches with that. And then it was pulled from the market because people were dying from it.
Wow.
Then I was switched to Salsept, a different immune suppressant. And with that, I had sores in my mouth, more fatigue. My skin was sort of gray. And I just generally did not feel well because The CellCept is what we call sort of an anti-metabolite. It disrupts rapidly dividing cells, so that can cause troubles with your gut and troubles with your mouth.
Oh, it's not good, is it? It's not good. So how long did you go on like this for?
I was on that CellCept, I believe, throughout 3 years.
This must have been such a difficult time for you. I mean, wow. I mean, out of nowhere as well, MS can strike, I guess. Yeah. My friend, he had a completely active life, great job, world at his feet, and then overnight he got MS, and it had him, basically flat on his back practically for 6 months. I mean, he's got his symptoms under control a bit now, but it completely just overcome overnight. It was just it was one of these things. Is that what happened with you? Was this a steady build?
It was a gradual decline. In retrospect, I started having problems with MS-related pain in 1980 when I was in my early 20s. And then when I was in my 40s, I developed weakness in my left leg, and that's when the diagnosis was made. And I started medication, but every year I was a little bit worse. It was more difficult to walk. It was more difficult to stand. And then it became even more difficult to just sit in a regular chair.
And I guess sleeping must have been quite hard as well.
For people with MS, problems can be pain, balance, vision, and of course motor problems. And my problems were related to pain and problems losing strength in my muscles in my torso and in my left leg.
So when did you realize that you could actually treat this naturally? What inspired you?
Well, when I was first diagnosed, being a doc, I started reading the literature, and but it was very upsetting because I saw the natural history looked very, very grim. And so my family convinced me I needed to stop reading and just rely on my docs because reading was so upsetting. But then in 2003, when I needed the wheelchair, I realized, okay, I know how bad this is. I went back to reading and would eventually start reading about the animal models for MS and discovered studies using vitamins and supplements, which I began experimenting on myself. And what I saw was that I was slowing the speed of my decline, and I was very grateful. And then the summer of 2007, I discovered an organization, the Institute for Functional Medicine, and I took their course on neuroprotection, which really deepened my understanding of what I could do to protect my brain. I had a much longer list of nutrients, which I was now taking. And then later that same year, I decided, I should reorganize my diet to get this long list of nutrients from the food that I ate. And that's really when the magic began. And of course, I've continued to refine my protocol, and we've seen some wonderful changes for myself, for people that we follow in our clinics, and of course in our clinical trials.
That's fantastic. It's really great work what you're doing. So did this work immediately? How long did it take for you to actually implement your protocol to actually see a benefit where you were like, wow, I've really turned this around?
I'll sort of give you the sequence. So I'm diagnosed in 2000. In 2002, my neurology doc told me about Lauren Cordain and the paleo diet. So after 20 years of being a vegetarian, I resumed eating meat and adopted a paleo diet, but that did not cure me by any means. I continued to decline. Next year I needed the wheelchair. Then I started slowly adding vitamins and supplements. I slowed the speed of my decline. 2007 I took that courses with functional medicine, had a longer list of vitamins. Still maybe improved ever so slightly. Then I reorganized my diet, still following paleo principles, but now to get these 20 nutrients I'd been taking in supplement form. Wow. And that's really when the magic began. Within a year, within 3 months, my fatigue was gone. I was walking around without the wheelchair.
Wow.
In 6 months, I was walking easily without a cane. In 9 months, I got on my bike for the first time. And in a year, I did a 20-mile bike ride with my family.
That's amazing. Oh, that's so amazing. And do you want to know,
I wrote a grant and got funding to start a clinical trial testing my protocol in others with progressive MS.
Oh, that's fantastic. And how is all that going? How is the trial going? Have you started it yet? Or?
Yeah, we got the trial going. You know, it is such a radical new way of thinking about treating MS. Our safety committee here at the university said, do 10 and report back, give us a safety report, and if you didn't hurt anyone, we'll let you go ahead and add the second 10.
Wow. So
we did that. People tolerated the protocol. They were implemented, and we were able to show a marked reduction in fatigue. We reported on we've had that paper out. We've had all 20 go through now, and they've completed their 12 months, and have that paper out with the largest reduction in fatigue that's been reported to date.
Wow.
Huge, wonderful p-value of 0.00005. So very significant findings. We're getting ready to do another study where we'll be comparing the swank diet and the modified paleo diet. We're very excited about starting that. Hopefully we'll start that in the next month or so.
Yeah, this is really exciting because you know what? It sounds like you're going to help a lot more people coming up. Wow, this is amazing. And the people on the trial, I mean, they must be quite happy as well because they've improved a bit, right?
Oh yeah, they've gotten their life back. The easiest thing to improve is reducing pain, improving energy, so reducing fatigue, improving mental clarity. It takes longer to see the improvements in gait. People have to do the physical therapy and the physical training, so that rebuilding muscle takes more time. That's a much longer process.
Mm-hmm. Do you think MS is always caused with nutritional deficiencies, or is there different reasons people get MS?
Oh, there's more recognition that it's really a syndrome with many different causes. Part of it's nutritional deficiencies. Some of it may be unrecognized food sensitivities or mold sensitivities. There may be chronic infections like Lyme, Bartonella, Chlamydophila. There may be underlying toxins. Most often there's probably multiple factors, genetic vulnerabilities, plus environmental exposures.
And stress as well.
It's really a very comprehensive diet and lifestyle program is probably the most powerful intervention that people can use for MS and really for any autoimmune condition.
That's brilliant. So, I mean, do you think anyone's MS can be reversed with the right nutrients?
Well, I would be hesitant to say, it depends on how much damage there's been done. Certainly, I'd be very hopeful that we can reduce pain, improve energy, improve mental clarity for the vast majority. Will this be the solution for every single person? Maybe not. Probably not. Will it be as effective as many of the drug therapies? I predict that we will find that to be the case. It's certainly safer, and you get overall improvements in health all around.
Exactly. Well, it's not going to harm, is it? I mean, adopting a healthy lifestyle.
Vegetables are pretty safe.
Exactly, yes, that's it. So what should someone with MS eat and maybe avoid?
So what we recommend, we have some foods that we exclude from the diet or remove, and then foods that we stress. So things that we remove are the gluten grains, dairy proteins, and I also suggest removing eggs. Things that we stress are 6 to 9 cups of vegetables, according to size and gender. And we stress green leafy vegetables like kale, spinach, Swiss chard, and sulfur-containing vegetables like the cabbage family, onion family, mushroom family, and deeply pigmented vegetables and berries like carrots, beets, berries, oranges. We encourage the use of some fermented foods, and I encourage the use of some omega-3 rich oils, either as fish oil or flax oils.
Yeah, so basically a good, healthy, balanced diet there.
Yes.
Definitely. And I think everyone should definitely consider or eliminate dairy completely and sugar, because it's just so catastrophic for the body and the health. It's really not good on the body at all. So you've got quite a few books out. Do you want to talk to us about maybe what someone might find in the books?
So my books are the Wahls Protocol, and this comes in either a hardback or a paperback version. You can probably get them, I would think, in bookstores. You can certainly go to my website, terrywahls.com, and we have links to both books, either the paperback or the hardback version. We also have audiobooks as well. And I would remind the listeners that the book really details my protocol and what we are studying in our clinical trials. And these protocols that we're using are very effective across many, many disease states. So I'm getting reports from hundreds, thousands of people around the globe telling me that they have a wide variety of autoimmune conditions like lupus, RA, scleroderma, psoriasis, that have been markedly helped with implementing the program. And of course, diabetes, obesity, heart disease also have been markedly helped as well.
That's brilliant. Do you know what? Actually, I interviewed another lady called Melanie. It was sometime last year, and she had MS, and she actually cured her MS because she realised she'd got it because she was stressed out. A lot had changed in her life. She changed a new job. She was studying for exams as well. It was a more high pressure job as well, and she'd moved, and loads of different things had happened, and then she got diagnosed with MS. She took a look at her life, and she realised she looked to see what had changed, and she realised it was the amount of stress that she had. So she basically got on top of it all and reversed her symptoms, basically.
Absolutely. Stress can be a big part of the problem. So, in addition to the diet, we teach people a meditative practice. We give them an exercise program designed specifically for their limitations and current physical functioning. And we also taught them how to use electrical stimulation of muscles to speed the rebuilding of their muscles.
What can someone do, if someone's listening with MS, what can someone do to, I guess, keep their muscles going?
Well, one of the things that I'd recommend that they do is ask for a referral for a physical therapist who can do an evaluation and recommend a home exercise program. That will be very, very helpful. If the person is very early in their disease, is still quite mobile, another thing they can do is ask for a referral to a personal trainer who could evaluate and recommend an exercise program. Daily exercise, particularly strength training, is a very, very helpful strategy to slow and often reverse the declines that have happened due to the MS.
What are the main brain foods, would you say, if somebody wanted to keep their brain healthy and working in tip-top shape?
So the brain is really damaged by a high sugar, a very high starch diet. So the brain is much better protected by having a diet that will have plenty of omega-3, so wild fish, grass-fed meat, plenty of vegetables, and that you completely forego sugar, sugary products, and products made with flours, because flour-based products drive up the insulin and really are associated with the more rapid shrinkage of the brain.
Oh, wow.
So meat, vegetables, particularly if you can get grass-fed meat or wild fish.
What about coconut oil? Because you always hear about that being good for the brain.
So, great. That's a wonderful thing to bring up. So coconut oil it has a lot of medium-chain triglycerides in it. And the medium-chain triglycerides are in the body metabolized to something called ketone bodies, which are really well utilized by brain cells. And there's some very interesting studies that have used coconut oil and what's called a ketogenic diet for people with early dementia, and they've seen these folks have marked improvement in their memory function.
Yeah,
and I'm one of the researchers that are studying ketogenic diets in the setting of MS. And we have some very early results that we're just beginning to look at and analyze now.
Oh, that's brilliant. And it's obviously shown positive results so far.
Yes, it's been positive. And this is being studied for other conditions, as I mentioned, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. It has a long history of use for seizure disorders. It's also been studied for brain cancer and other cancers like prostate cancer, lung cancer, colon cancer, head and neck cancer, and pancreas cancer.
Wow, it is amazing stuff.
Very promising results, I might add.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, we've always been told to avoid saturated fat, but I think people are changing the opinions on this now. We need them. I mean, our body needs cholesterol, right, for the brain to repair.
Right. We must have cholesterol. Cholesterol is the basis for making vitamin D. It's also the basis for making testosterone, estrogen, and a number of adrenal hormones as well. So and cholesterol is a major part of every cell membrane. 25% of all the cholesterol in your body and mine is in my brain and your brain. So cholesterol actually is a very important nutrient, and it's a very important compound.
Do you think
most of the cholesterol in our bloodstream is manufactured by the body. It's not from the diet.
Do you think this could be what is causing, because a lot of people have, I know a few people with MS, and I know people with, like older people, but a lot of older people with Alzheimer's and dementia and things like this. So do you think that's because we've been told not to have saturated fats and it's now actually affecting us?
So the rise in dementia, there are lots of factors. One is the increasing rates of obesity, strongly linked to higher rates of dementia, higher rates of diabetes linked to higher rates of dementia. And some interesting papers have come out showing that if you have low cholesterol, your risk of dementia is increased.
Yes.
So the lowest 20%, those with the lowest, in the lowest quintile of their cholesterol values have a dramatically higher rate of dementia as compared to those with the highest levels of cholesterol.
Yeah, because the body
is not the cholesterol value itself. It's whether that cholesterol value was damaged either by a low-grade infection or more commonly that it's had a sugar side chain attached to it because of our very high sugar, high starch diets.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. But it's good that we.
The problem was not cholesterol. The problem was that we've damaged the cholesterol by this high sugar diets that we follow.
Well, this is it. I mean, the tests just detect cholesterol levels, right? So if you've got some sort of damage in the body that the brain needs to send cholesterol or whatever, wherever it comes from, but the body needs to use cholesterol to repair it, then of course the levels are going to be high in the body, right? So surely taking these antistatins and stuff, that's just masking the problem. It's covering up the symptom.
It would be much better to go on a lower carb diet, eat plenty of vegetables, ditch the sugar, ditch the white flour, have sufficient meat. And sort of what we find is that the lipid values steadily improve, and people lose weight without being hungry on this type of protocol.
Yeah, and they don't have to make a trade-off with their brain.
Correct.
Yeah, so important. So, Terry, we are coming to the end of the show, which I'm really sad about because I'm actually really enjoying this conversation. But where can people hear more from you? Because I'm sure the listeners are going to want to know where they can contact you maybe or get more information about you.
I have them go to my website, which is Terry, Terry, Wahls, WAHLS. Facebook, which is Terry Wahls, MD. They could follow me on Twitter, which is at Terry Wahls. And they'll get lots and lots of information. And of course, we encourage them to pick up my book, The Wahls Protocol, either in hardback form or paperback form, and begin taking their lives back.
That's fantastic. Right, thank you so much for coming on the show, Terry. I wish you all the best of luck. Please keep, updated about all your progress with your clinical trials. I mean, I'd love to hear about, everything that you've got going on and all the work that you're doing. I think it's brilliant.
All right, very good. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you now. You take care.
Knowledge Nation.